the Fast Film competition as a director. I thought it was a pretty cool idea. I thought it'd be really fun and exciting to get to be a part of. I probably thought it would be like much harder than it actually was, and a lot more work. It was a lot of work, but it was manageable.
Before starting the Fast Film Challenge, the concept, I've never even heard of something like that, so I was very excited about it. And I was like, oh, it'd be a bit challenging, but I would love to give it a go. So I thought it was a great idea overall.
I was pretty nervous before we had drawn the different elements, because there's some like genres that are harder to do in 24 hours, or some genres that take a lot more editing or take a lot more props to do. So I was just hoping that I'd get one that I kind of liked and would enjoy doing the most, and I kind of did.
When coming up with the process, and we got given our genre, character, dialogue, situation and props, it worked together quite well because I got 2 wild cards, and the genre was thriller, and the characters was an astronaut, which could fit in easily, and it just all worked together really well, so we never really had an issue trying to fit them in with each other.
Not really. I just went home, and I knew that with the small time frame that probably the longest thing I would imagine is coming up with the idea, and in a stressed situation you might just pick a random idea even if you don't like it. So I just I kind of went home, had a bit of a brainstorm, and then pitched it to my group the next day.
In our cast, I was excited. I was like, I've never really worked with any of these people before, and it should be interesting to see how they work together and how we can all work together to get to a different, to get to a good outcome, which was very interesting, and it worked out quite well because everyone got along really well. We worked hard. We had fun a lot as well, which is always a good thing.
I felt pretty good about it. Yeah, everyone seemed really into it, and yeah, I was happy about it.
The biggest challenge was, I think, audio, because we got to a point where we actually, for 2 of our shots, we've got to turn on the microphone, and then we had to go back and reshoot with the volume, which wasn't that bad because we ended up getting better shots the second time around anyway. But I think that was probably the biggest challenge, and also editing the whole thing in the 2 days. I was up late editing, which I actually enjoy. I'm a night owl, so it worked very well.
There actually wasn't many challenges. It was pretty easy breezy. It was probably more the lead up, just thinking like, oh, this is going to take a long time. But I've managed to finish it in 24 hours.
The biggest challenge was, I think, audio, because we got to a point where we actually, for 2 of our shots, we've got to turn on the microphone, and then we had to go back and reshoot with the volume, which wasn't that bad because we ended up getting better shots the second time around anyway. But I think that was probably the biggest challenge, and also editing the whole thing in the 2 days. I was up late editing, which I actually enjoy. I'm a night owl, so it worked very well.
Yeah, I was really happy with the outcome, and not only the actual film, but we were doing a comedy, so it was pretty fitting, but it was the funnest experience, and everyone was so hilarious, and it was just a great, it ended up being a great film too.
The film, yeah, I'm very happy with it. Like, we completed a 15-minute video in 2 days, and edited music, effects, everything we needed to do in 2 days. So why wouldn't you be happy? I'm very happy with it.
Yeah, it could be cool on a larger scale with more directors, more teams, more something in the end where like with this one, it was like, oh, it's a tie. But maybe something where it's like maybe like 10 teams, if that's even possible. But 10 teams with more of a like ranking of winning and just to give it a bit.
I don't think you could make it better. I think it's actually pretty good. Like we had time to plan, and then we had time to film of everything. Maybe like knowing the cast a day before shooting, that'd be nice. But apart from that, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I think it would. I think it's a good idea to get directors who wouldn't have an opportunity to have all these actors around involved, and yeah, I think so.
Do you think other directors would test their ability to make films in conditions similar to this?
I think they would. I think if they were given a chance, like in this type of festival kind of situation, there's less, like it's more, you have 48 hours to actually do it. It's not like you set a challenge and then you don't actually end up completing it. I think it would be a great environment for that.
Plus film festival would work really well with directors and for a directors festival, because you can literally say, oh, I just did a film in 2 days, and show people the outcome of that 2-day shoot, which would be very interesting to watch because you never know what you can come up with in those 2 days. Love this just to test whether they can actually get this done in 2 days, because it's a challenge, and every good director and good filmmaker loves challenges. Like, what would you do without a challenge, basically? You wouldn't come up with half of the things that we see on TV without challenging yourself. And yeah, I think they could definitely test their ability, because some directors might not even be able to get it done, but then there might be others that will surprise themselves, and then they can all work on building from what they come up with.
Audio Jungle.